I'm just, don't mind the hammering. My mom is building something downstairs. Just looking at my face because I took a little power nap before I started recording, because I just had to get a little nap in. I was gonna come straight home from work, get to recording, but then I was like, I want the energy to be there, you know, so I'm like, let me take a little nap. And it definitely ended up being longer than I thought, but it's summertime, so it's still light outside, thankfully, no matter how much I oversleep. Yeah, I have a pimple on my face. I don't know if you guys probably can't even see it. See, you can see it a little bit. My throat is so dry also, like, do not take a nap before drinking some water, especially if you're like me and you know you wake up, you know, a little later than you thought you would when you take your naps. Yeah, I have a pimple on my face, and I mean, I was mad about it, but then I started thinking about, you know, how it could be worse, because it was worse for me and my skin along like a few years back, like middle school type stuff. And even my freshman year, it was pretty bad until I got some very strong medication for it. It literally had steroids in it because my skin was bad. It was like leather couch, like alligator, you know. It was pretty bad. Thankfully, I had people in my life who God blessed me with who are very kind and not judgmental about my skin. But, you know, of course you know, naturally I'm still gonna be insecure, you know. So I just was looking at this pimple I had, and it's also some advice for people who get like big pimples like this on their face still. I'm 19, think I will be done with pimples, but I guess for some people it never ends. But if you have pimples on your face, never pop them. Just don't, okay? Because it's just gonna spread. It's gonna make your face break out. And some of you out there are getting smart with me and are like, oh, it never happened to me. Well, you know, just don't pop pimples on your face. There's stuff you can put on the pimple. Do not go with your nail and pop it. Yuck. I have a pimple on my face. I have little small dry spots on my arm, but I would honestly rather have this in exchange for what I used to have on my skin, you know. And it took my skin initially, after I got that strong medication I told you guys about for my skin, to have my skin heal. It was still a lot of discoloration on it because I had years and years of skin damage from just scratching, and you know, I lacked self-control. Well, I lacked self-control. I'm much better now, and I'm just, you know, I was just like, you know, when I was complaining about my pimple, looking in the mirror, I was like, I'd rather have this on my skin than anything else. And I definitely, you know, try to let God know that I do not take him clearing my skin for granted. Because when I tell you guys he did it, and I do give him full credit for it. Like, yes, it took discipline, but he gave me a lot of hope in those times. I needed that hope when I was being talked about my skin. You know, people constantly asking me, what's that? And then when I say I have eczema, you know, they're like, oh yeah, I have a sister who has eczema. My brother has it. I'm like, so why would you ask me? Yeah, I hope you guys aren't hearing my mom downstairs. I literally can't focus. I'm like, if they hear her yelling down there, you know, but, you know, I love her. Love you. Don't take the little things for granted that, you know, seem so normal, like you should be born with it, you know, because sometimes we forget to thank God for the little things. And that's definitely what I do, because I like the little things for me, things that other people may overlook. That God definitely helped teach me a lesson in my life to maybe help other people see that they should be grateful for little things that they overlook, like their skin being clear, being able to breathe, you know, every day. I hope I'm not just being weird and just talking randomly, but you know, guys, keep up with me, you know. Basically on this video to tell you guys, you know, be grateful for the little things, you know. Don't, things that other people may overlook, you shouldn't, you know. And definitely God taught me lessons in my life individually and me to be grateful for the small things other people may not even care about. Like some people don't even put lotion on every day. It's like, guys, don't be ashy. God gave you the skin, take care of it, you know. Like when God says take care of the earth, you know, you are also the earth. You know, take care of yourself. I mean, just because something isn't wrong with that part of your body doesn't mean you shouldn't take care of it, or, you know, doesn't mean you should overlook it. Always try to definitely highlight the small things. That's just things I, you know, have to think about since I was taught to think about it. You know, I even had really bad asthma when I was younger. I was very small. I'm still small, but I was like underweight small when I was little, and my lungs, the doctor told me, were even, you know, tiny, and I couldn't breathe a lot of times, and I couldn't catch my breath like the other people in the pacer test. You know, I was still over there wheezing, you know, trying to be cool and not take my inhaler in front of my friends and run to get it out of the locker room. And I was just insecure in middle school, and it made me do some stupid things. Like, girl, if you don't just take your inhaler to breathe, you know you needed to breathe. Who cares what everybody else think? Like, talking about, girl, you breathing, okay? But yeah, so I was gonna react to a video about leprosy, because that's something that was talked about a lot in the Bible. If you guys have ever read the Bible, people were, you know, leprosy was a very bad disease back then, and it was contagious, and it was kind of like COVID, you know, in a certain time in place in the Bible. Leprosy was horrible, and you know, God healed a lady who had leprosy just because of her faith, you know, and I definitely can say he did that for me too, because I still kept believing I would be healed. See, it was much worse than eczema. It would affect your eyesight, you know, your skin in a much worse way, and it was airborne, so it was contagious. Anybody could get it. And the people who had leprosy, they were isolated and treated like, you know, not human. Like, you don't just isolate someone when they're in trouble, you know, but that's what people did, because they didn't want it to, you know, come on to them. You know, they didn't want to get the disease. But you know, I had eczema. You know, can't claim it anymore. I had eczema, and you know, it thankfully wasn't contagious. People still hung out with me, and I'm just grateful that I didn't, you know, because it could be worse. You know, I always tell myself that it could have been worse. You know, I never got mad at God when my healing wasn't instantaneous like that, you know, not a miracle, because I never really expected miracles from God, and maybe that's something I need to work on. I can obviously see that a lot of stuff I needed to be healed from, it was going to take work, and it was going to take time to get rid of the illness, and I was okay with that. I'm like, as long as God heals me, and I know he will, you know, in a certain amount of time, it won't be overnight, but I have faith that he would heal me. You know, I was fine with that. He knew that, and he knew my heart wouldn't get, you know, cold and hard or whatever, and towards him. So that's what I would, you know, just encourage you guys, that if you know, don't highlight the bad things in your life that could be worse, you know, because it kind of makes you look at it like it's bigger than it is, and it makes you hate, you know, your life and, you know, who you are, or who God made you, how God made you. You know, God made you the way you are for a reason, and don't hate him for it, you know, because it could be a lesson that he knows you need to learn, and that you will make it through. He chose you to learn the lesson because he knew you would survive it, so you can then, you know, teach others and encourage others. And that's definitely why I, you know, can say he gave me eczema, he gave me asthma, because I was strong enough to carry the weight and come out on top, and still not lose my faith in him, and still encourage you guys, and not, you know, slander his name or whatever, because that's a lot of times what we do when we lose faith, or something happens to us that makes us doubt him. We start to, you know, say his name in, you know, in horrible context out here, and just, you know, downplay his power because we didn't make it to the finish line through our trials, you know. I always get nervous with these type of videos, because I always, you know, hope and pray that I am relaying the message that God gave me correctly, you know, because I'm like, I really could just be spewing at the mouth right now, and people just aren't hearing it. But, you know, that's where faith comes in, that, you know, his word is get it into you guys. You guys are hearing it. I guess this has turned into a freaking GabbyGabi video. I didn't want it to turn into that because I try not to make my GabbyGabi videos be so, you know, like close together. I try to make it at least every 3 videos. It just ends up happening like that, and I was like, let me follow that pattern every 3 or 4 videos. But obviously, you know, it turned out to be a little closer than usual, and that's okay. These are my favorite videos to make anyway, because I can just be myself, you know, I can just relax, chill. I don't have to have a real plan. I can just talk, you know, and literally I could talk all day, which is why it's called GabbyGabi. Definitely gonna be a shorter video, at least I think. I don't know, GabbyGabi videos, it really varies. I never know if it's gonna be short, but I just have a feeling, you know, it's gonna be short. But yeah, so you guys enjoy your Wednesday. I think that as I start school, my videos are probably going to be shorter, but it's okay because, you know, you guys like the shorter videos anyway. Be safe out there. Enjoy your Wednesday. Don't pop your face pimples. Be grateful for the little you have. Don't take anything for granted that you feel like should be regular, or that you feel like you shouldn't be thankful for because it's such a normal thing. You know, don't take anything for granted that you have. Anything. Walking, breathing, sight, anything like that. Yeah, love you guys. I hate saying goodbye. I hate ending videos. I'm really bad at it. Peace out.